Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. OhSheReads here, and this is OhSheReads. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Bookmas Day 5. Merry Bookmas! So in today's video, I want to talk about my bookish resolutions for 2018, and this is basically where I'm just going to talk to you guys in depth and with detail about all of the book-related resolutions I'm making for next year, and I will also be talking about my hopes and my dreams for this channel and for life in general. It will be mostly book-related, but let's go ahead and get started and see where this video takes us. So I have 18 bookish resolutions / reading goals right here. So I want to go ahead and get started with number 1. And my first goal for 2018 is to read the Noughts and Crosses series by Mallory Blackman. This is a series I've been intrigued about for years and years and years. And I'm so curious about it, and I feel like the way the world is now and all the discussions on race and class and just all the things that are going on racially in this country, it's more than a perfect time to read this novel. This is a dystopian novel that is set in 21st century Britain. I have the synopsis. So in this series, it's basically a twist on the way things really are, and things are flipped upside down in this dystopian world. And in this world, it's actually African people and people of African heritage and descent have taken organizational and technological advancements and advantage over European people. So it's actually European people that are enslaved by African people. So it's an alternate universe, obviously, and the exact time period that this book is taking place in, or this series is taking place in, is where slavery has been abolished for some time, but there is a segregation going on that's very, very similar to Jim Crow, which happened here in America. So this segregation basically helps to keep the crosses, which are the blacks, in control of the noughts, which are the whites. Thus the name of the series, Noughts and Crosses. So I think this series is going to be absolutely fascinating. It's going to be cool to see a different perspective and a twist on what we experience and live with every day right now in the world. So I'm super excited to finally get to this series. Number 2 is to finally read all of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's books. So far, I've only read Purple Hibiscus, and I attempted to do this in May of 2015. I did something on my channel called the May of Adichie that I was really excited about, and unfortunately, it just didn't go as planned. Reading Purple Hibiscus really wrecked me and hit a little bit too close to home and opened up some emotional wounds I thought were healed, and just basically triggered me, and I wasn't expecting it, and I was unable to continue on with reading the rest of her works at that time, so I never really addressed what happened. I know some of you who have been watching my channel since that time, probably you guys were wondering, like, what happened to the May of Adichie? I was so excited about it, and what happened to the wrap-up and all that. And I was just so emotionally triggered by reading Purple Hibiscus, which I loved, by the way. It's one of my favorite reads. I just couldn't continue with the plans for that month. So I will be reloading the May of Adichie this upcoming May 2018, and I think I'm in a way better place emotionally, mentally to handle it all now. I'm ready. I'm so excited to read what else she has to offer, and I have all of her books, so I'm more than prepared and ready to go. Number 3 is to read more Nigerian authors. I am Nigerian myself, and I feel very much disconnected from the social aspects of my country and what's going on in Nigeria because I don't live there, and I feel very disconnected from the art world and what's going on there with artists and writers, even with the music. So in 2018, I'm going to be making a concentrated effort to read more Nigerian authors, to listen to more Nigerian music, to just immerse myself more in my culture and my heritage, and I think it's important, so I'm going to be doing a lot more of that in 2018. Number 4 on my list is to read an equal number of physical books and ebooks. Now, as many of you know, I read, I would say, primarily, if not majorly, on my Kindle this year, and I just want to change things and flip things up a little bit for 2018 and create an equalizer of sorts. I want to read more physical books, so I want to not just go all the way from 0 to 100 and say I want to read mostly physical books, because that would be, you know, a great task and I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I will just say that I want to read an equal number of physical books to ebooks. Resolution / reading goal number 5 is to reread all 7 Harry Potter novels and to put up in-depth analysis and discussion videos of them here on my channel. These are my favorite books, and I think it's sad that I don't have any videos discussing them, and I think it's because I started BookTube after I'd already read all of the novels. I read them growing up as a kid, and I just want to have a chance to have videos of talking about them on this channel. I want to talk about these books. They're my favorite books and I want to discuss them with you guys. So I will be reading 1 Harry Potter novel a month starting in January up until July, where I would have read all 7 of them, and I'll be putting up a in-depth y'all, analysis and discussion videos on each book on this channel once a month, until we have reached July / book 7 and the end of the series. And bookish resolution reading goal number 6 is to reread The Bronze Horseman, which is one of my favorite novels, and I haven't read it since I first read it a long time ago. I want to say it was in 2011 or 10, and it's by Paulina Simons or Simons, I can never remember, and it's actually a series, and I only ever read the first book and I never continued on with the series, so I want to reread the first book and then finish up the series. Number 7 is to buy more adult books. I do buy quite a bit of adult books, but I buy mostly young adult books, and I just want to change that up a little bit and buy more adult books and less young adult books. Number 8 is to reread all of my children's classics favorites. I have a lot of favorite books that are children's books that I read while I was growing up that I haven't reread in years, and I want to have a chance to reread all of them. So I'm thinking of possibly adding a children's book selection to my TBR each month and using that as a way to work that in. So I have just a lot of children's books too in my shelves that I have not read, and it's like I buy these books because they were my favorite as a kid and I want to collect them, and I haven't had a chance to read them, and it's just so sad. So I definitely want to work on that in 2018. And number 9 is to read more nonfiction. Again, nonfiction is something I have a ton of on my shelves already, and I haven't cracked any of them open, and it's such a travesty. I feel like I spend a lot of time in the fiction world, and I need to spend a little bit more time in the nonfiction world, and I feel like I'm never in the mood for nonfiction, but it's something that I kind of have to force myself to do, and then I get into mood for it, and I start binging a whole bunch of nonfiction books. So it's just something I'm gonna have to be a little bit more mindful of in 2018. And for number 10, I want to read more books that I own than just buying more books, if that makes sense. I love buying books these days. I usually pre-order books from authors that I love and just excited about books that are coming out, and if I, hear buzz about a book, then I definitely want to pre-order it. But I want to read more of the books that I own than the books that I buy, if that makes sense. I want to work on the books that are already on my shelves as opposed to working on adding more books to my shelf that I then have to read those as well. Now, number 11 is a little strange because most people, I feel, are trying to do the opposite of this. But as many of you know, I'm a very fast reader and I'm a prolific reader. I read a ton. It's very easy for me to read over 100 books a year. I will be talking about that more in a later video. But I want to read less in 2018. I want to read less books, and I want to read slower. And I want to savor the books that I'm reading, take my time, really let these stories sink in, let these ideas sink in, really think about what I'm reading and why and what I'm getting out of what I'm reading. And that, I think that the reason I'm making this resolution is I want to get more out of what I'm reading, and I think I'm not getting a lot out of what I'm reading currently because I'm reading for entertainment mostly, and I want to read more for knowledge, and I want to read more for just thoughts and ideas, and I want to read more critically in 2018. And that goes hand in hand with my number 12 resolution / reading goal is to read with intention in 2018. I want to read with a purpose. I want what I'm reading to enrich me in some way, to grow me in some way. I'm really looking to be stretched, and I'm looking to explore a lot more with my reading. So for number 12, I just want to be a little bit more of an explorative reader. I want to take more risks and, just be a little bit more outside of the box with my reading. I feel I have gotten very comfortable and safe, and I want to challenge myself a lot more and just explore a little bit more. And with that goes exploring more genres, exploring different types of writing, different writers, exploring just different shelves, And I think that it's going to really enrich me in ways that I can't even imagine right now. So I'm really intrigued and excited to see how it goes. And for number 13 for a bookish resolution, I want to visit more bookstores. I feel like I do a lot of my shopping online. I shop a lot on Amazon primarily, but I used to be a huge shopper on Book Outlet. I've done a little bit of Book Depository and Barnes & Nobles, but I want to challenge myself to go to physical bookstores. I think there is something in the experience of walking into a bookstore and browsing and feeling the books and seeing the books and being in that atmosphere and feeling the vibes and like the spirit of the place. You know, the spirit of a bookshop is so important, especially as someone who is a huge, sorry guys, my camera died, but as I was saying, I am a huge believer in supporting bookshops, especially independent bookshops, and I just feel it's so important to support them and to pour back into our communities and really support book buying from independent retailers and really support the love of books and reading. So I definitely want to explore more physical bookstores in 2018 and really kind of get connected back into shopping from a bookstore and not just from online. Number 14 on my bookish resolution / reading goals list is to utilize the library more. I have kind of fallen off of going to the library in the past several years. I used to utilize the library a lot more about 2 to 3 years ago, and definitely while I was growing up, all through school, especially as a kid and in high school. I used to go to the library all the time. I was an active user of the library, and I was there, I would say, about 2 to 3 times a month. And now I can't even remember the last time I went to the library. I feel as though I have gotten into really owning books and building my own library, and it's something that I truly enjoy doing. I've become a book collector, and so that has steered me away from going to the library. But every time I do go, I am so happy to be there, and the joy of getting to check out all these books and the privilege is so enjoyable, and I always ask myself why I don't do it more. So in 2018, I just want to utilize my local public library more. I want to look into ways to support my local library because I feel that libraries are extremely important. They need to be supported within our communities, and we need to look for ways to patronize them and keep them open and keep them servicing our communities better. So I just want to become a part of that in 2018. Number 15 has a lot more to do with videos here on my channel, and I just want to speak up more and say more about books that I don't like and reading experiences that I didn't enjoy. I have a tendency to steer away from negativity here on this channel, and while I think that that is a good thing, it's good to be positive, it's good to focus on the good, it's good to focus on books that I've enjoyed reading and books that I love. I also think it's equally important to be critical and to talk about books that I didn't enjoy and that I don't like, and reading experiences that didn't fulfill me. And I feel that I kind of don't do it out of fear. You know, I don't want to get the negative comments. I don't want to get the thumbs downs. The dislikes, and I am afraid of other people's opinions. I'm afraid to kind of go down that road, and I don't know where it's going to lead or take me, but I want to rid myself of that fear in 2018. I want to dive in to taking more risks with this channel. We're talking about things that aren't always positive and pleasant when it comes to books and reading, especially for me personally. I just want to open up that side of myself to you guys and really talk about those things and those topics. As negative as they may seem, I think it's also good, and I think it can become a prison when you feel like you always have to be positive all the time. That goes hand in hand with number 16 on my list of bookish resolutions / reading goals, which is to discuss more books. I mean, it sounds so weird to say that here on BookTube, but I found that we don't really discuss books anymore. There are a lot of book hauls, not as many reviews, a lot of discussion videos, but the discussion videos are centered around BookTube culture and not so much about the books. So I'm sure I am not watching the right channels, and I just want to get back into talking about books here on BookTube. I do my best to do that here on this channel, but I almost feel guilty for doing it because my wrap-up videos are so long because I read so many books and I want to talk about all the books that I've read, but I don't want to make this gigantically long video that people then have to sit through. And it makes me feel bad to put out these 40-minute to 1-hour videos when, if you think about it, if you really want to talk about a book and you really love something and you're really interested, wouldn't you sit through a 40 minutes to an hour of a video about it and really get involved and really start to, comment and indulge in the dialogue? Wouldn't that be thrilling for you? These are things that I think about, and I just think it's weird that here in the booktube community we're scared to really talk about books and dive deep and have these deep, intricate conversations and discussions about what we are reading. And I find that a lot of book videos have become commercials for publishers, and it's like, oh, read this book, it's coming out, or read this book. And I find a lot of review videos are lacking in depth and in true discussion and just critical thinking. I feel like I've said that a lot in this video, but just lacking in substance. And I don't want my channel to go down that road. I want to talk about books on my channel in depth. Books that I've loved, books that I am loving, books that I don't like, books that I hate. I want to discuss books more on this channel in 2018. Now, number 17 is more of a life goal, and it's to set up my dream library in 2018. I have a vision, and right now I am not in my own home. I am temporarily staying with my family while I transition to my own place, and I'm just saving up money, and I have a lot of ideas for what home I want and what I want it to look like and the vibe and where I want to live, just everything. And I just want to finally have a space where I can set up my home library and have all my books out and have all my shelves laid out. I'm so excited about the possibility of it, and it's something I really want to achieve in 2018. And last but not least, number 18 on this list is to continue to share my love of reading. And this is honestly something to encourage me to keep going on this channel. It's been kind of hard coming back. YouTube has changed a lot, and I feel as if my videos aren't getting seen by you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys don't know that I'm back, and a lot of you guys are not aware, and I'm not showing up in your subscription boxes. And so that community that I built here on this channel is kind of died down, and I almost feel as if I have had to start over and I'm starting from scratch. And it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't been easy, and I just don't want to give up. I want to continue on, because what keeps me making these videos is how much I love to talk about the books and the writing, and just personally the books that I love, the books that I just feel like I have to share. I'm just bursting to share with you all. And I definitely want to make more writing videos. That's definitely a goal for 2018. So I'm kind of putting this in the video to encourage myself. I don't want to give up, and I don't want to be discouraged by this rough restart, so to speak. So I definitely want to continue sharing my love of all things bookish in 2018. And that is it. That is my list of bookish resolutions / reading goals for 2018. And for me, 2018 has a theme, and that theme is to say yes to more things. I feel that that is so powerful, to say yes and to open your heart and your mind and your soul to the possibility of more in your life. I feel as though, for me personally, the past few years, I've fallen into a rut with life, and I don't feel that joie de vivre, that joy of living anymore like I used to. I feel that the last time I really felt like that was back in 2013, 2012, and since then I feel like I've almost been coasting through life and I'm on autopilot. I feel almost like a zombie. I don't feel things as deeply because I've been so hurt and so scarred by people and things and events. So I feel closed off and emotionally shut down. I feel as though I'm more protective over myself, and I've just gone into this cocoon, and it's so easy for me to just stay at home with my pup and, you know, with Netflix and just kind of protect myself and hide away from the world. But I want to say yes to more things. I want to say yes to more invitations. I want to say yes to more friendships. I want to say yes to love and to the possibility of love. I want to say yes to going out into the world and meeting it face on and getting out of my shell and out of my cocoon again. So my goal and my theme for 2018 is to say yes to more things. And that's definitely translating over to this list and the things I want to accomplish reading-wise, books-wise, writing-wise, on this channel-wise. So I encourage all of you, if you feel any way similar to what I've described, if you're going through, you know, similarly, emotionally, mentally, physically even, you know, anything I've talked about, I encourage you to say yes to more things and see how it starts to change your life, your perspective, and your outlook. It hasn't even been 2018 yet, and I've already started practicing this say yes to more things thing, and it has really made a huge difference the past couple weeks in just my level of enjoyment of life. So yeah, with that, I just want to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for clicking and for stopping by my channel and watching and hanging out with me. Osh fam, I love you guys, and I love everyone that supports my channel through thick and thin. And please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe, definitely hit the bell, the notifications button to get a little notification every time I post a video, and I will catch you in my next video. I love you guys. Bye. Bye guys. In California, and their mother just takes off and leaves them to fend for themselves, and she has a habit of taking off, but this time it's like she doesn't come back when she usually does. She's just gone, and they have a limited amount of money and resources. They're alone. Bean is 12, Liz is 15, and they're kind of forced to fend for themselves. They end up having to leave their home because the neighbor is getting suspicious and they don't want to get taken away.